Joining me now on Yahoo Finance is Blake Chandley, TikTok President of Global Business Solutions. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
We have this amazing backdrop, lots of announcements. So of course, we have to start with some of the key ones for you.
Yep.
We've now got a date, an appeals date for the TikTok ban that was effectively put on the cards here after President Biden signed that bill into law about divesting ownership from ByteDance, from Chinese ownership, or risk a ban. Talk about your reaction to that and where you see it going.
So it's now moving to litigation, so I won't speak a lot about that. I will say that we're confident in our position. We think it's a ban. We think that from a legal perspective that the law is with us, and we're looking forward to the challenging it.
And from what I saw from when you the first announcement of that law coming into place, but then the brands didn't seem to have that same reaction. They were, in fact, flooding to the meeting that you had just a week after that announcement.
Yeah, I think flooding is an interesting statement, but the brands are excited. I mean, we're here in Cannes, we're talking about advertising. The enthusiasm's there, it's amazing. People are passionate, they're excited, and they're really supportive of TikTok, which is great.
And so I want to ask you about another announcement here, your Symphony digital avatars.
Yes.
Talk about the goal of this and how you see that scaling the business for creators and advertisers as well.
All right, great, and thanks for letting me talk about this. We're really excited about avatars. We think it's a huge step forward in the creative process. So we've been working with creators and with brands for a while now to make sure that we're building something that really meets their needs, right? There's a lot of concerns about the role of avatars versus the creative community, and the position we're taking is we want to amplify their voice. And a great example of that is, today a creator, when they create a piece of content, they create a single piece of content and they put that up on the platforms and they look and see what happens and they go create another piece of content. What we've designed avatars to do is to allow them to create a piece of content and then scale that globally. So we can scale it to 30 languages today. So you could create it in Spanish or in English, and you can scale it to 30 languages, which immediately gives our creator community the ability to reach audiences they've never been able to reach before. And similar on the graphical side of things, they can create different backgrounds, they can do different things. So the idea is, how do we enable and empower our creator community?
And it's interesting because people can either have a custom avatar or use a stock one. What's the reaction been from people sort of seeing themselves, speaking in other languages as an avatar? I can imagine that's disconcerting, but I mean, it's also really fascinating.
They love it. They love it. The reception has been really, really positive from brands, from creators. Users are showing a lot of interest and enthusiasm behind it, so we're really excited about it.
And so when you look at where partnerships and collaborations go now with partners and creators, what does that look like for you, say, over the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that's going to change in the space over the next 5 years. We're really excited about it. Whether it be ecosystem partners like the Adobe launch we made today, which is we're allowing our music library now to be part of their creative suite, which is a great thing for creators and for brands alike, all the way through to different ecosystem partners that are yet to come about. AI is changing the game for our community, the advertising community in general, and we're all really, really excited about it.
And so then when you think about really making the most of viral moments, something that, of course, TikTok is known for, when you have something like the Olympics or some random trend that just seems to pop off out of nowhere, what are some of the tools and resources that some of these brands can use to capitalize on that moment?
So TikTok is known for the cultural moments. It's driving culture in many ways, whether it be in sports or whether it be in beauty, whatever it might be, where there are these moments that happen that go viral, to your point. Right? What we're doing is enabling brands through a variety of different products to allow them to identify virality very quickly, whether it's with their brands or outside of it, and then align themselves with it. So we have a series of products, one's called Pulse, which allows brands to literally have their content appear right next to the most viral content on TikTok. Doing it within the needs and having the safety and the adjacency challenges that they have sometimes, they want to make sure they're with the right content at the right time, with the right audience, and that's what we're really building for them.
And so then when you're looking at some of these targeted ads, if you're a newcomer, you're trying to get your voice heard, and there's this sea of well-known established brands, what is there for the little guy coming in here trying to make a splash?
Well, I will tell you, TikTok has an amazing role within small businesses. So in the US, for example, alone, we have 7 million small businesses that use the platform to help build their business, to build their brands, to reach audiences they can't reach elsewhere. Because it really TikTok is democratizing advertising in that sense. And so small businesses can create amazing content that goes viral. We've all heard the stories of a small local business that all of a sudden, goes from doing $50,000 a year to $16 million a year. Or a deli. There's a great example is a deli. I was on my way out here actually, and I was coming from New York City, and I was in a cab heading to the airport at JFK, and we drove by, and there was this long line, but there were 100 people outside this deli, and I said, "What's going on there?" He goes, "Oh, that's the TikTok deli." Randomly, that's the TikTok deli, right? And this was an amazing sandwich shop that had gone viral on the platform, and now people were swarming there from all over the country.
And so that can be a lot for a small brand. What sort of support do you then offer when it comes to scaling up? If there's someone who has perhaps really no background other than like your small business.
Yeah, well, there are a series of tools that are self-serve tools, as well as we have teams that are helping small businesses, whether it's finding the right creators to work with or having the right voice on the platform.
And so when you think about different generations, people think of TikTok primarily as somewhere that Gen Z likes to go. But how do you get more people, more generations into it so that they don't feel like, they're too old for it?
Fun fact, the average user on TikTok is over 30 years old, right? And so that's a reflection of the kind of content that's on the platform now. It went from, in early days, it went from really kind of lip syncing and dancing, which was very akin to the younger generation, to the content that's there now around book talk or edu talk or clean talk, which is a phenomenon, a community on the platform that loves to clean their homes. So there's something for everybody. All generations are on it now.
And do you ever see at one point TikTok becoming an everything app? Especially when you think of what you see with like live shopping and especially when you're introducing things like avatars that allow you to be more flexible.
Yeah, I think we do a lot of things in that area now. I think that TikTok's become an important part of people's lives, but it's important to know that it's an entertainment platform today, first and foremost, right? Versus a social platform. Now, we're adding things like shopping into it and live capabilities inside of TikTok as well, which is an important part of the user experience. So we'll continue to build features and functionality and innovate to make it as important as people want in their lives.
And something that's interesting, and people may not be fully aware of it, just how much of their news they get from TikTok. In fact, Pew Research found that the share of people going to TikTok for their news has doubled since 2020 to about 43%, especially in an election year. How do you harness a lot of the attention that you're going to get from news with some of these brands and creators?
So I think news is an interesting one. You bring up a great point. That's good knowledge. Increasingly, especially Gen Z is finding more and more of their news on the platform. And so, as we think around how do we build the right kind of policies, governance around that, it's really important. And then brands want to know where their brands are appearing on the platform. And some of them want to be around some types of content. They don't want to be around other pieces of content. So we give them the tools to select that.